Kadash. Double honors to my apostles, Great Millstone. Peace, salutations to the hopeful elect that's pushing the word of truth and sincerity. All right, this is Yashaka Barth from the Wisconsin branch. Coming at you with a quick lesson, man, about, you can't please the Lord without faith, man. All right. Without faith, how can you please the Lord? All right, so I'm out here at this lake. That's why you hear the wind blowing in the background, as you can hear it. So if you, so yeah, man. If you if you in this truth, you supposed to have, faith plays a part, in this truth, man. It plays a big part in this truth. Okay. So when all hell break loose, that's when your faith be tested. That's when your faith get tested as well. So that's when your faith in Yahweh Shema Shai plays a big part, in this ministry. All right. So I'm gonna start Hebrews at 11. I'm gonna start at 1. Hebrews 11:1. It says, "Now faith is a substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear." So you gotta have it in your mind that that you can't see faith, but it's gonna basically, it's gonna put it in action, and what you basically going through in your life. If you're going through tough times, rough times, and stuff like that, and you finally pull through the spirit power of Yahweh Shema Shai, and you steady, steadily holding on, to it, and he pulls you through, that's faith, man. You going through things, and you praying to the Lord, you praying to Yahweh Shema Shai, take the burden off you, take, anything you're going through, man, if you're going through going through a lot of afflictions, which I'm trying to say, you gotta have faith that the Lord will take it away from you. You know what I'm saying? That's part of having faith, man. All right. So you gotta, that's how you please the Lord, to have faith. So I'm gonna jump to 6. It says, "Without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." Diligently. Okay. So you must believe that he's the all-knowing, the all-powerful. All right. You got to believe in Yahweh Shema Shai that he will do it. You're going through things in your life. You're going through a lot of, afflictions, a lot of, turmoil and stuff like that. The Lord can lift it off you, man. All you got to do is pray to the Lord, face the east, and anoint yourself, and he'll lift it off you, man, through faith. You got to have faith, man, that he'll do it. That's part of believing. All right. That's part of having belief. And a lot of our people don't believe, what I'm saying, in the Most High, man. They just going about their day-to-day and shit. I'm reading it again. It says, "But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh up to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them." Okay? Who is them? The elect. Okay? That diligently seek him. Diligently. Let's look at the word diligently real quick.
Strong's G 1567. Exateo.
Greek word exeteo means to seek out, search for, investigate, scrutinize, to seek out for oneself. To seek out for oneself, man, because understand that, we're working out our own salvation with fear and trembling. You know what I'm saying? That's part of having faith. Read this real quick. To search out, crave, worship, seek after, carefully, diligently. All right? So the main thing that caught my eye means to seek out for oneself and beg. How you beg? You pray. Pray means to beg, man. All right? You beg Yahweh Shema Shai, you know what I'm saying, to put, strengthen you with faith. All right? It says, I'm going to read 7 real quick. It say, by faith, Noah being warned of the Most High of things not seen yet. Okay, so people didn't believe that it was going to rain real hard. Because the Lord, only thing that was, the Lord was doing back in Noah's time, it wasn't rain back then, it was dew at that time. Like the grass be wet and stuff like that. That's the only time, the Lord fed the grass, the earth with dew. But the Lord Yahweh told Noah it's going to rain 40 days and 40 nights, man. All right. It say, by faith, Noah being warned of the Most High of things not seen yet as yet. Because people didn't know that it was going to rain real bad, Same thing to now. These people, these motherfuckers out here, man, they don't believe that thermonuclear missiles gonna hit this place. So the men of the Lord that's pushing the word, truth, and sincerity, man, we know that this place gonna get hit with ICBMs. We know this through faith. All right. It says, by faith, Noah being warned of the Most High of things not seen yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark, all right, to the saving of his house, by the which he could condemn the world, and became hearer of the righteousness which is by faith, man. Because Noah had faith. That's the same thing. We got to have faith, because we have faith that the chariots, that's going to deliver us in that time. Lord willing, Lord willing, I'm still part of this truth, because you gotta understand that the so-called UFOs, which is the chariots of Israel, man, it's been spotted everywhere, all through this motherfucker, all through the world, man. Okay. Because this whole chapter 11 is good, man, because it tells you every prophet had faith, in Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta have that same faith in Yahweh by Shema Shai. All right. So hold on for a second. So basically, faith is a foundation of this truth. You know what I'm saying? So without faith, you can't please the Lord, man. Basically faith means trusting in Yahweh through Yahweh Shai. All right. And even when you don't physically see the outcome yet, you know what I'm saying, you can actually feel the outcome. Like, you will know that the Lord is working. You will know that the Lord is working with you. Okay. So yeah, man. So in this time, we gotta have that faith, man. We gotta keep having faith. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead to Second Ezra 9:1. Start at 1 real quick. I'm gonna read it down to 7. Says this. It says, he answered me. This is on 2 Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, right? Measure the time diligently, right? Watch the prophecies that's unfolding. And also, man, you gotta have faith in the prophecies too, man. Because a lot of niggas fell out the truth because they couldn't wait, you know, for everything to come to pass. Because you gotta have patience, man. Because the Lord, you know, Yahweh Shema Shai, he's big on patience, man. Okay. You know, everything gotta unfold. So the Lord told us to be watchmen. All right. So I'm gonna go back to 2nd Ezra 9:1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is a very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Okay, you got earthquake sightings, man. You got different magnitudes, of, you know, different numbers of earthquakes, man. 7.5, 6.8. I'm talking about hella earthquakes, man. You know, a brother be posting it on our chat, man, on the Heads chat. You know, he be showing us the brother, you know, the brother been showing it on the chats and stuff. You know, letting bros know that there's still earthquakes going. There's still earthquakes going on. And on top of that, it ain't been televised. You know, so that's part of being a watchman, man, because we got to diligently search what's happening in this world, man. You know, that's part of watching out for prophecies. All right. It says, then therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. So it's been a lot of riots, man. It's been a lot of, you know, sedition, you know, going against the government, going against the, you know what I'm saying, the policies, the wicked policies of this governmental, you know what I'm saying, decrees that these wicked decrees that be putting out and shit. All right. It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, right? Because you see it. You see it's unfolding. The end is manifest, so we are in end times. That's why Romans 13:11 said, it says, we're in high times to wake up out of sleep, man. All right? You know, we're in high times right now. You know, and it's manifesting. It's basically, you know, it's showing itself, man. That's why we gotta really lock in and buckle down, because it's finna be a bumpy ride, man. All right. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in the world, and plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effect and signs. Okay. It says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, see, and by faith whereby ye have believed. So if you keep doing this work, you keep pushing this truth, man, you know, far as studying, doing your videos, you know, and going on the highways and byways, man, and your faith plays a part of it, you're going to be saved, man, when all hell break loose. You know, and that faith got to play a part. Okay, faith got to play a part in this thing, man. Okay, so, you know, faith, you know what I'm saying. So basically, you know, like I was saying, this includes believing in his word. You know, faith is, you know, this including, you know, believing in his word. You know what I'm saying? Prophecies and judgment. So faith plays a part in that too, man. You know? Go to Wisdom of Solomon real quick. And I'm going to start at 9. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 9. It says, they that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him, for grace and mercy is to his saints. Who is his saints? The Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, and 11 Americans, starting with the elect first. That's the spirit. I ain't see the word elect. It says, I'll read it again. It says, they that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. All right. So we understand this truth, man. All right. We trust in Yahweh Shema Shai for him giving us this truth. And such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints. Start with the elect, Israelites.
And it would make it more
right? And he have cared for his elect. Only the elect. Okay. Verse 10. But the ungodly shall be punished. All right. The ungodly shall be punished. You 2/3. You niggas. You're going to be punished. All right. It says, but the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord. All right. So none of our people, the 2/3 of our people, don't have faith in Yahweh Shema Shai. They don't believe in his word. All right. They believe in other things of this world. Okay. So the ungodly is going to be punished, man. All right. Martial law, famine, civil war, race wars. Okay. The declining of the dollar, the MOTB. Everything's finna come in full fruition, man. Everything finna come on a full scale. All right, because our people, 2/3 of our people, gonna get caught up in this shit, man. So this ain't the right time to leave Yahweh Shema Shai word, man. And Lord willing, that I'm the elect, man. So that's part of fear. That's part of having faith, man. Like, hopefully that the Lord keep the spirit on me to keep going. All right. That's why Psalms 51 chapter says, take not the Holy Spirit away from me, man. Okay. The ungodly gonna be punished. The ungodly gonna be destroyed because they not coming back to the Heavenly Father, man. Y'all worshiping other gods. Y'all worshiping shit don't even protect you. That's why the Lord is. That's why the Lord is not gonna he's not gonna save you in that time, man. He's not gonna have them angels protect you in that day. So we got a faithless ass nation, man. Only the elect is faithful, man. So basically this plays a part, in being consistent. Studying, praying, applying the word, and enduring. Okay. Gotta endure this thing, man. I gotta endure this thing. Every brother that's doing this work gotta endure. Can't forsake the Lord in these last days, man. That's not a good idea, man. That's not a good idea, for real. I'm gonna go back to 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 13. This is a one-hitter quitter, by the way. 13:5. It says, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahushua HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. Okay? So you gotta check. We gotta check. We gotta check if you're truly we got to check if we truly walking in the faith, man. Meaning it's truth, doctrine, and belief. Okay, Yahweh through Yahweh Shai. All right. So proving your own selves, trials, going through trials, going through afflictions and temptations. All right, revealing you're really about this truth. That's how we got to prove our own selves, man. And faith plays a part, you know what I'm saying, in that realm, okay? And knowing your own selves, we gotta already have a spiritual awareness of where we stand, okay? And if you don't know where you stand, you're not examining yourself enough. So we gotta examine ourselves enough, because we in this regular ass body, man. We go off sometimes, man. We don't go off all the time. We don't go off intentionally. We sway a little bit, but we still gotta keep our mind and our spirit intact. And you know what I'm saying? Then we gotta put on that faith as well, man. Because the more we're in this truth, the more the spirit is gonna oppress, man. The more it's gonna this place gonna get more wickeder. This place wicked as fuck, man. This place is wicked, man. So we really gotta, fast more, pray more, anoint ourselves more, and be around the Akim, man, more. You can't be alone. You can be alone, but you still gotta be around, bro. You still gotta make sure you're really straight, make sure you're straight, make sure everything is cool. It's ministry. So yeah, man, this is important, and pray for one another, you know what I'm saying, and make sure everybody good, man, through the spirit power Yahweh Shema Shai, So Yahweh Shai is in us, man. It said, we walking in the spirit, we keeping his commandments to the best of our ability, and holding faith and doctrine, man. That's what's going on. That's what's up with us, man. You can't leave the truth and come back around the brothers, man. Can't do that shit, man. I ain't gonna say who. You know who you are. Can't do that. You can't leave the brothers come right back, man. That shit is absurd, man. And being a reprobate, you rejecting the truth and disapproving and avoiding judgment. Things like that, man. So if Yahweh Shai isn't dealing with you, you'll fall off, bug the fuck out, or go back into the world. And that's exactly what bro's doing. They used to be around us, man, in other camps as well. I'm sure guys that's been around y'all, brothers fell out, got kicked out, all kind of shit, man, and started going back into the world and bugging the fuck out. Like everything peaches and cream. Shit peaches and cream, man, in this world, man. Okay? It said, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahweh Shai or Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobate. Sloppy for the text, man, because I thought I shut it off. I thought I shut the text thing off. It's sloppy for that. But yeah, man, that's it, man. That's the lesson, faith plays a big part, man. So you can't please the Lord without faith. Faith plays a big part. Hope y'all was edified. Shalom.